Hi, I'm Ritu Panesar, founder and president at Travelopod. For over 21 years, I've been helping travelers navigate complex international flights and create meaningful and immersive journeys around the world. From luxury vacations and small group expeditions to once in a lifetime adventures. International travel can be really challenging and complex because of a lot of moving parts and logistics involved. That's why a good travel advisor can be really valuable in helping you clear the clutter of online and help you make the decision which is right fit for you. I get this question very often. Can a travel advisor actually help you find cheaper international flights? The short answer is yes. In most instances, they can. The reason is that most people assume that everyone could see the same fare online. But the reality is that an experienced travel advisor has access to special fares and special tools that can often find those options that travelers simply aren't aware of. In fact, one of the most common testimonials and the comments we get from our customer is, I had no idea that fare existed. Sometimes that means saving hundreds of dollars, sometimes thousands of dollars for business class travel. Sometimes it means finding better routing, better, more reputable airline, less connections, or simply an airline ticket with far less restrictions and more flexibility if plans changes. But honestly, I think focusing only on price misses parts of picture. A good travel advisor isn't there just to help you find the cheapest flight. They are helping you make better decisions and get the best value of your investment on your travel and to avoid costly mistakes. I have seen travelers save a little money online only to spend hours dealing with missed connections, schedule changes, separate tickets, long hold times, and sometimes change fees that they didn't anticipate. So I think the best way to look at international flight is to see not what is the cheapest way to fly, but what is the smartest and most optimized way, balancing out all those important things. Because the cheapest flight and the smartest flight are not always the same. The right travel advisor help you understand the difference between the both and make the choice that's right fit for you. Most travelers don't realize that not all airfare inventory is distributed equally or the same way, and everyone doesn't see the same price when they see online. Airlines use highly sophisticated pricing system that changes constantly based on demand, connections, inventory, competition, and sometimes specific routes. On top of that, many airlines for their long haul flights work with consolidators through private contracts. And these special contracts are distributed to the travelers through travel advisors. Think of it as a wholesale model or Costco for aviation, where alongside the public fares, these specially highly negotiated fares also exist. That's why two travelers, when they see online, they may be looking at entirely two different prices. Now, why do airlines do that? Let's understand that. Because airlines would rather fill their seats than fly empty, especially on the long haul international flights. And at the same time, they don't necessarily want to publicly reduce fares across their entire market. So they work with consolidators and they make some of the inventory available through their special contracting. And those special contracts are passed to travel advisors who have been working with these consolidators over years. As a result, experienced travel advisors have access to these highly negotiated prices. Now, there's a catch here. You may have also seen travel websites saying, call for best prices. It sounds a bit old fashioned, isn't it? There is a reason for that. Because these highly negotiated prices cannot be displayed online publicly, but they can be offered to people on phone or email. In fact, many of our clients are pleasantly surprised when they see hundreds of dollars of savings when they're booking flights for three or four versus what they see online because of these highly negotiated private fares. So I would say airline pricing isn't really as straightforward as most people think that when they see it online. Every trip is different and savings aren't guaranteed for all. But that's exactly why it needs a second opinion, especially when you're spending a lot of money on your international flights. You might be pleasantly surprised by an option a travel advisor can find you, which you can't find online. Absolutely not. In fact, I would like to argue that the real value of a good travel advisor begins when the tickets are issued. Booking a flight is easier part. What matters the most is what happens when things just don't go as per the plan. Flights get cancelled or delayed due to weather, airline technicalities, missed connections happen, airline schedule changes all the time. When you are booked online, you're often left navigating all these situations on your own, sometimes spending hours on phone or try to find a solution. When you work with a good travel advisor, you have someone in your corner. One of the things our clients tell us that the thing that they value the most is knowing that there is a real person whenever they need to talk to somebody or if something happens totally unexpected. I remember a family traveling through Spain and Morocco last year when an airline strike happens, and before they even knew there was a problem, our team was already working on finding alternative solutions for them so that they don't lose the valuable vacation time. And they did not. That's the part of travel most people don't realize when they're comparing online. So you're not just buying a ticket, you're gaining an advocate. So, no, for a good travel advisor, the relationship doesn't end when the ticket is purchased. That's actually when the responsibility begins, is how I like to see it. Most people assume they lose the money by paying more when they purchase the ticket. In my experience, that's not where the biggest losses happen in travel. The biggest losses often come from a mistake of booking wrong tickets or booking something that they did not anticipate. For example, booking separate tickets to save little money that can become very expensive if the first flight is delayed and the second flight is not going to get any intimation or they're going to hold up. The airlines may have no obligation to help because the tickets were booked separately. Another expensive mistake is booking the cheapest fare without understanding what you're actually buying into. Many travelers see a $500 tickets, and based on the human psychology, we mostly click on the cheapest option. And once that is booked, it can quickly add up to a lot more because one does not realize that it does not cover any checked baggage, any carry on baggage, or any seat selection. If you want to put everything together, a $500 flight can easily become a $750 flight. So the cost of staying overnight, going out of the airport, taking a hotel because of the tight connection, because it was the cheapest flight, can actually add up a lot more. And honestly, in my opinion, sometimes the most expensive mistake is simply losing valuable vacation time. If you have spent thousands of dollars on a trip to have 1 week off and then missing 1 day can be a lot more costlier than saving a couple $100 on airfare. That's why I always encourage travelers to look beyond the ticket prices. The goal is not just to buy the cheapest flight. The goal is to arrive where you want to, when you want to, with as little stress and risk involved. If you find this helpful, or if you have any questions about your upcoming trip, feel free to reach out. And if you'd like more travel insights and tips, don't forget to subscribe and join me as I share travel insights, lessons, and all the learnings I have learned from over 21 years of traveling. Thank you, and bye bye.